When I speak of Yanini, I speak of the entire world as you know it. This world was divided into 12 states, or countries. With regard to the division of the duple-souled, androgynous initial beings in Yanini, when I said that a race of women appeared, I naturally wished to infer that men also appeared. The androgynous beings, in every case, resembled men, as distinct from women. Do you comprehend more clearly? Daily life. Now for the beginnings of domestic life in Yanini, not domestic as you know it, of course, but whole communities of men and women live together under the guidance of a master or overlord. I do not refer to the 12 adepts. The life was entirely given up to the accumulation of brain matter, or, as you call it, knowledge. You must remember that Yanini was very sparsely populated, not overcrowded as you are now. Spiritual life. These people were wholly absorbed with the learning of the higher mysteries, the imbibing of the lore of mysticism from the solar planes. It was the intention of myself and my brethren to form schools of initiates. Therefore it was most essential that these novices, or initiates, should have a firm grasp of the workings of the 12 greater rays, the 24 lesser rays, the means of communication with other planets, and above all, the great ways of the carrying out of the wishes of the eternal Am. You have probably already grasped the significant fact that these first earth beings were in direct contact with the infinite. Daily life. They did not need to work at manual labor, as you know it. You must remember that the earth's crust then was thin, and therefore vegetation and the fruits of the earth grew with far greater ease. Dwellings. The dwellings of these first people were composed of a light substance not unlike thin sheets of wood. Remember, Yanini is still only 3/4 solid. This came, the wood, from a tree whose bark could be uncurled in sheets, a tree no longer in existence on your plane. Its nearest counterpart now is papyrus. The houses were all roomed on the ground level. The walls were lined with, in every case, a substance closely resembling your copper, a semi-metallic substance called tahinate. This was beaten into sheets by the feet of the men. It was a metal found very near to the earth's surface. Your metallurgist would not be able to find it nowadays. It grew much as peat does, but below the level of the ground, and was definitely copper-colored. You must realize that metallurgy was an unheard of thing until the days of Lamana, Atlantis. The surface of your world was too shallow and new to permit of any type of mine. Think of it if you like as a very new skin, with the forming bones beneath, awaiting growth and development. Resting time. This first race did not sleep as you do. In a certain period of time, about a month of your time, they would go through a period of unconsciousness lasting about 12 hours. The length of time of day and night there was not 24 hours, as is yours. You will remember that I told you of the twilight conditions then. In consequence then, their day consisted of 58 hours. For 27,000 years, this little planet was hidden from the solar light by a dense mass of dark vapor due to the ascending gases and the etheric disturbances, which always arise after the forming of a new planet. It is rather like the dust which the wind blows up during a heavy storm. Therefore, there was no definite light and darkness. You understand that? Diet. The Yanihis did not consume food as you do, and this implies the fact that there was no killing of anything, either flesh or vegetable matter. The fruits of this first earth were solely for the sustenance of the feathered and animal life. All your cereal crops grew in Yanini without exception. All were brought from other planets by the nature masters. Wheat, corn, oats, all came from Venus. The Venusians are a highly agricultural race of beings. Maize, millet, came from Mars, as did also all of your insect life. Mars, or, to call it by its real name, Thumma, is very close to your Earth planet, and is the one which most resembles your own. Crystals and gemstones. Those things which came to Yanini, the only solid things from the solar planes, were the very many semi-precious stones. Now do you see the reason for being doubly careful about those which you wear? Footnote: semi-precious stones come from the solar planet, made from a plastic substance called by the solar name Shahan. This material is molded and impregnated with cosmic essences and then passes into the laboratories for hardening, to be finally sent to the planets untarnished. It is only when these jewels of God contact Earth that they take on the soiled appearance outside. All solar stones contain alive, health-giving essences. Each human should contact High Spirit to know their own individual stone. Diamonds, rubies, emeralds, do not contain solar essences. Pearls are a growth, born of an irritation, and sap human vitality. Mother of pearl is beautiful, artificially made items. I must here make one very emphatic statement. You may think it sweeping, but know this, that all the possessions of your Earth planet which had not their origin in the solar planes are those which decay, those with no lasting properties. Man-made, in fact. I abhor the synthetic articles now in such common use with you. I deplore the necessity for machinery. I would have none of you use anything not made by hand. If it were not for the Earth's present capabilities in engineering, there would be no war. Mechanism has ruined your planet. The simplicity of the early Yanihers was entirely due to their intense spirituality. The women worked with their brains equally with the men. They were able at certain periods, which I will speak of later, to contact directly, by means of the lunar ray, the solar planes. Therefore, their mystic knowledge came directly from the solar logos. They actually communicated on this ray by speech. It will be difficult for you to understand. The nearest thing which equals it in your day is your telephone. It was not for many years that colleges of initiates were formed. The great temple ceremonies and rituals will all be described in due course. There is little left now of the first Yanihian world, but that which remains is so saturated with the 12 cosmic rays that always will they be outstanding places in this world. That place which you love so dearly, Glaston, is one. Kalot Doc, in Nate Doc. Until we meet again.